So as a start and also as a finish, you'll want to either be close enough to the timing people to talk to them directly, or if you can't manage that, that's my preference is to be right close to where they are so that if I need to talk to them, I can just yell out the window at them. Uh, if that if you can't make that work because of the physical situation, the the secondary way of doing it is to have a couple of FRS radios, and they will have FRS radios to talk between uh, their two locations, and so you can get on their channel and talk to them that way.
Crossband
Mhm.
or crossband through your radio so you can walk around.
Okay, that's the other way of doing it. Paula just mentioned that um, if your radio is set up to handle crossband, your mobile rig, then you can have an HT and you could be out of your vehicle standing with the timing people and use your HT to key up the crossband to talk to your comm captain. And so that's a third way of handling that
Okay,
issue.
yeah, and I'll be set up where I can crossband or park right next to him either way.
Yep.
Cool.
So it's just being mindful when you're parking that there are going to be times where you're going to want to talk to them, and one of those three methods is and talk to them beforehand about how you plan to communicate when you need to, because when you need to, it's oftentimes in a hurry. There's some drama going on. So back to the mundane. The media uh, should be filling out the form that you see here. When you're start control, media are allowed to go onto the stage in the direction of travel. And so there's two different colors of ARA media vests. There's red, which means restricted, and blue, which means that they can go just about anywhere. And so a red vest needs to either be at a manned location, a ham radio location, and being observed by that ham radio operator, or there's some cases where a blue vest will have a red vest as like his assistant. And so the guy with the blue vest is responsible for the assistant using a red vest. So when they show up at your start control and want to head out on the stage, they should have a form that looks something like this. And they should have filled this out before they get to you. And Paula, were you going to send
I did
blank
already.
ones?
Yeah.
Okay, so Paula sent you a blank version of this, so you might want to print 4 or 5 copies of it so you've got it in case you get a media guy that shows up and says, well, nobody gave me a form. You can hand them the form and let them fill it out right then and there. So you can see it's got a place for the stage number, how many miles they're going to go in, uh, what uh, what kind of vehicle, and like the color and the vehicle type are probably the two things that are most important for that. And then sometimes they'll be there for the first running, but they're going to go somewhere else for the second running. And so when and where do they plan to leave? Are they going to stay there and wait for the green light? Or do they have some other plans? So the final thing down here is what are the bib numbers. So each bib, whether it's red or blue, has a number. And so when you get this form all filled out, then they can head on into the stage, and your comm captain will want you to call them and read off the pertinent information about this particular media person. And then as they traverse the stage, maybe they're going halfway through the stage, comm captain will probably ask all the blockages along the way to to track the white GMC, and he's got a media sticker on him, and we expect him to go 4.3 miles in up to Delta maybe. And so that's the reason for gathering all this information. Um,
One thing, Mike,
yeah,
this is Jeff.
yeah, go ahead.
They have been, the media people have been told to give that form to the control captain.
Ah, good point. And of course, the control captain is not you. And so you ought to have a discussion beforehand with your control captain, the timing control captain. And if the media come up and give it to the control captain, you want them to instead have the media bring it to you, and then you can do your job with it. So yeah, talk to your timing control captain about that situation because they're oftentimes told to give it to the control captain, which is not the case for this rally. We really want it to go to the start radio.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Um, Now, the second situation that can happen with a start radio, well, there are two situations. One is the for whatever reason, uh, the the stage is not hot, and it's time for the first rally car to start. And because we have Rally Safe now, uh, the Rally Safe unit in the car is rather assertive that you are starting in 20 seconds, 19, 18, and then the countdown is going and the rally car is wanting to start. And so we've had situations where the control workers let the car go, even though the stage was not really fully prepped. So this year, we're going to have what we call the cone of no going, which is actually one of those tall plastic uh, orange delineators, has a, a rubber base to it and a tall orange thing. And as soon as zero car starts, the timing control people should set that cone, which is actually a tall, skinny thing. It's not actually a cone right there in front of where the first rally car is going to park, waiting to start, whether there's a rally car there or not. And so the idea is when the first rally car arrives, he sees the cone is still there, and that's kind of his indication, the timing people's indication, and your indication that you do not yet have clearance to start the stage. And so once net control talks to zero car, moves the cap off the table there, and make sure that everything is good to go. They'll tell the comm captain or possibly the start radio that they have clearance to start. At that point, start radio can tell the timing people they can move the cone and start the rally car at the first available minute. And so that's one process. The other process is that there may be an incident that happens on the stage where the comm captain or net control will want you to hold the start. And that's the other scenario where you'll need to interact with the timing people. And so some people like to use a whistle or honking their horn. I prefer to yell at the start people,
Hold the start.
hold the start. And that has always worked. I've heard of cases where people tried the honking the horn or a whistle or some other method, and nobody was paying any attention because of the noise of the uh, the rally cars and such. However you decide to do it, make sure that your timing people uh, know what you're going to do if you need them to hold the start. So, any questions for being a start radio?
No, right now, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Okay, Paula.
Okay, talk a
Finish
little bit
radio.
about the other, because you're going to be a start, and then you're going to be a finish, and then you're going to be a start, and then you're going to be a finish.
Yeah.
So you'll get both ends. So one is just a really practical one. Time the announcement of finishing cars to avoid doubling. In other words, do it after a car has started and been announced and repeated, And then is a good time to announce any cars that have finished. We're not in a hurry, so make sure the message gets through in some dead time so that everybody can hear you. You
Yeah.
don't need to give the sequence number or the time when you're announcing finishers. All we care about is that that car finished. Okay, car 395 has finished, and we'll all check them off. Now, if a car is missing, the comm captain may, and you will know this because you're also tracking cars, and you'll have heard the traffic on the simplex frequency that a car is missing, meaning we don't know where he is between this blockage and that blockage. So in that case, we're trying to find out from the rally cars that came after that car what happened to them. And they will have seen, hopefully, have seen that car. And so the first car that shows up that was right behind the car that's missing, that's the one you'll be told to start asking, did they see the car that was missing? And typically you're going to ask the control crew to ask that information and say, hey, the next car is coming in. You need to ask them if they've seen car such and such. And did you see the okay sign? And that's really what we really care about was that what was happening with that car and was the okay sign being shown. So now if they didn't see that car, you need to ask the next car that started after that car. Did they see the car? And what was the situation? And did they see the okay sign? And then the third car. Now, there are a few cliffs on first view stage especially, but a couple places where a car could go off way down the hill. And we've had this happen occasionally on rallies over the past 40 years. But in that case, nobody will have seen the car that's missing. And when the third car comes in that has not seen it, that's usually when everything stops and the comm captain will send in, or net control will authorize sending in somebody to look for where that car is. Especially with the rally safe units, they will see that the car is no longer on the road and they'll be able to get an idea of how far off the road the car is. So that's extremely helpful. We used to just kind of guess as well as between blockage Charlie and Delta, but that still narrows it down. So haven't had that happen in decades, but it's always a possibility. So again, you want to review with the Finnish control crew that you would be asking them to check with the cars that followed the missing car. So kind of review that with them. You want to really get to know your control crew. You want to be able to work as a seamless unit. So